tripped over my camera. Oh man, that should be all right. Morning everyone. I hope you're all doing well. I am very excited about being out here this morning. As you can see behind me, wow, the fog's just rolled in pretty quick. It wasn't like that just a few moments ago. But anyway, I am in an area called the Tail of the Dragons. I mentioned this in another previous video here in the Smoky Mountains. And it's a long, windy road. I think it's about 11 miles, and it's like they say, a tail of the dragon. It's just like the snake, you know. It's just a lot of windy switchbacks, and it just takes a long time to get through because you're going uphill for a long time, and then eventually you go downhill to the North Carolina side, but it's all, you know, like a snake. So it takes a little bit to get out here, but literally from my house, maybe, I don't know, 20 miles or so, 15 miles if that. But anyway, I got here just in time. And it's supposed to be nice and beautiful and sunny, and so I definitely wanted to get out here and catch the sunrise. But again, I am using the Pentax K1000 camera. In the previous video, I kind of mentioned a little bit about it and excited about it, but I didn't get into too much detail about it. But in this video, a little bit more time to talk about it. So this is a camera that I first started using when I was back in high school, back in 1984 when I took photography. I just remember the process was just so much fun, doing film and in the dark room and just watching the image just magically appear on the photo paper. And so obviously I've learned a lot since then, and for a couple of years now I've been liking the idea or thinking of you know, getting back into film photography. And my fear was this, that I would actually love it more than digital photography. And after spending so much time and money learning digital and stuff, I was afraid of that. But needless to say, I think both digital and analog have a lot to say in the art of photography. Two different genres, or not genres, but two different approach to the end result of photography. So I think it's great that technology has advanced, and there's definite, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, I can't think of the word, but it's just good opportunities that technology has provided for the art of photography. So anyway, I want to kind of experiment with this camera just to kind of get to know it a little bit again, get familiarized with it. So what I'm using on this lens, on this camera, it's a 28mm lens. It is very simple to use. The bad thing about where I'm standing here right now, I don't know if you could see, but there's power lines, and it goes right through the image. But being black and white, and this is just a test just to get used to it. I'm not really trying too hard to get compositions. I'm just trying to see what the camera can do and see how the lens works, just to get familiarized with it before I really try to make an honest attempt with composition and you know, a little bit of a spin on what I think is a good image. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is switch to a 50mm lens just to see what that looks like in these conditions. Alright, so I've got a 50mm lens, 50mm, you know what I'm saying. Alright, let's see how this looks. Yeah, that's a shame that these power lines are in the way. In this lens, there's like a little circle in it, and when you turn the focus ring, okay, that circle moves with that focus ring, and it lets you know when you're out of focus. That little ring that it's inside the lens, when you turn it, the little ring becomes distorted, and you adjust it accordingly. And when that little circle, that little ring, becomes clear and not distorted, that tells you that the lens is in focus to whatever you're pointing at or whatever object you're shooting at. And so for me, having a hard time trying to see where it's where it's really in focus. And I don't know if it's just my eyes, because I'm wearing glasses, and that has something to do with it, or just literally my eyes, my vision. It's obviously impaired since I got to wear glasses. So I do struggle with that a little bit. Oh, look at that! The fog down there is lifting again. Check this out. All right. I got to get this image. Now, what's interesting to me, I don't know how true this is, but I kind of think it is. In the direction that we're looking this way, my house is over there. You can see the light towers, the power towers, whatever you call them, from my house to this very location that we're standing in, that I'm standing in here right now. I don't know how that's possible, but a lot of people say that it's true, that right where I am standing right now, you can see it from my house. I don't know. But I don't know. I'm new to the area, so I guess, I don't know. As of right now, maybe it's true. One of the things that feels strange about using this is I'm so used to the digital, where you press the shutter button and you can do multiple pictures, you like that. And but here it's like you take one image and you flip the lever, you take another, you flip the lever, which means you get you become out of focus, and then you have to refocus or make sure almost start the whole process from the beginning every few seconds. And I'm just so used to the digital, where again the whole camera does everything for you, and you don't really have to think much about it. You, as a camera, the photographer, you just become autopilot and the whole thing. So like in the previous video I mentioned, doing analog or film photography, you don't have that luxury to move as quick. You have to think, or I have to think about what I'm doing every time I take the image. Refocus, reposition, adjust, make small adjustments, etc., etc. Is that a bad thing? No, not really. It's just a different approach to taking an image. And I suspect the more you use film, the quicker you get to the feeling, the sensation of it, the actual approach to having to do this every time you take a picture, you click it, you do this and that, everything. So, yeah, like I said, it's not a bad thing. It's just a different approach. But again, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. And I shot a roll of film and I submitted it yesterday, and I got to wait about a week or so to get it back. So there's the part that I personally don't like. You have to wait. So I'm sitting here waiting with anticipation, just waiting and waiting, just not knowing how it's turning out. And then once I get the pictures back and the negatives, then I can start to think about what I'm doing, what works, doesn't work, and that whole process. Until I get a scanner, that's just how I'm going to have to do it. Send the film to get developed, and then wait, and then bring it back, and that kind of stuff. So that's the only downside with transitioning or using both digital and analog photography for me for now. So a little impatient, but I don't know. That's how a lot of people did it for hundreds of years. Well, not hundreds, but for many, many years before digital photography came out. So again, not a bad thing. It causes me to slow down a little bit, think about what I'm doing, why I'm doing what I'm doing, and just embrace the whole process at a much slower, thoughtful approach to photography. So yeah, this is pretty cool. All right, I'm going to keep taking pictures. So I'm just trying to find or see exactly where sunrise is coming up, and sunrise, the sun coming up, the sunrise. I'm not really sure yet because there's so much cloud covering. I want to say the sun's going to come up behind us, and then it's going to shoot behind me, behind us. You, the viewers, are the us. Anyway, it looks like the sun is going to come behind me in that direction, where the sunrise is going to be behind you, the viewer, over there, I think. I don't know if that just made sense, but just track with me. Yeah. All right. Oh, this is exhausting. So let me get my thoughts together. All right. So what I've got with me, I wasn't actually going to do this, but I decided to bring my backpack, but it's got some other lenses that comes with the camera. So let's see, I'm shooting with a 50 millimeter. A little bit ago I was shooting with a 28 millimeter, and I've also got a zoom lens in here that's 80 to 200 millimeter. So I kind of want to check that out and experiment with that and see how the images come out with that. And I've also got an adapter that you connect with the 200 millimeter lens, and obviously that can be used as a macro lens. So I'm going to check those things out and just see how it is, just see how the images turn out, obviously. But one thing, I'm not sure I want to go too far up there again. I've been up there a couple of times, and I don't know if I feel like going all the way up there and trekking all this crap up there with me. So I may just kind of hang around this area here, or maybe go up this little level up here. We'll kind of see, but I just kind of really want to focus more about messing with the camera and playing around with it than I do want to show some footage of me hiking and different sceneries with the camera. So, but anyway, that could change. But for now, I'm going to get situated, and I think I'm going to go ahead and take some images of this little waterfall, I guess if you want to call that. So I'm going to get to it. I forgot to mention, technology-wise, when this camera came out back in 1976, 1977, there is a built-in meter in the camera. So in other words, just like in the regular, what we would say regular digital cameras, there's a meter. So in other words, you get your composition and then you turn your dials that dictates your ISO, your time value, or your aperture value. So you have all those little things. Well, in this camera, very simple, but on a much simpler scale. So when you look through the viewfinder, you, on the right hand side, you will see a little needle that goes up and down, and that adjusts based upon your aperture. So in this case, I'm shooting in a film roll of 400, which means it's an ISO, ISO scale. And so then I can adjust the needle, the meter, for the proper lighting by adjusting my aperture, the lens, or my time value. So in this case, I have it set at 400 ISO, 1/250th of a second, and it's reading 2.8 on my aperture, on my lens. And then you just adjust it accordingly, very similar to you adjusting it on your digital camera, except you have a little dial where here you use your lens. And so I thought that was worth mentioning. And on with the taking pictures. Okay. Alright everyone, I think that's it for me for now. I am going to continue a little bit more, but it's kind of hard for me to do all of this and the video right now, and the sun is starting to come up, and so what I'll do is, I'm not sure when this video will come out, but hopefully the images will be back in time, and then I will post them at the same time the video comes out. If not, then this video may come out before the images get back, and then if they don't get back by the time I post this, then I hope you've enjoyed the video without the images, and if that's the case, then thank you for enduring the whole situation, and again, me transitioning from digital to analog, and investigating it and just having fun with it. So I hope you didn't find this video too boring. So it's really, again, it's really more about, at least the video channel, it's really more about me and my growth as a photographer and the challenges. I'm doing this by myself. Even though I do have a network of support system from other photographers, I'm still individual, where I go out by myself for the most part. Every so often I go out with a group of other photographers, but it's everybody work schedule, and so that kind of puts a handle on things. So anyway, useless information again. Thanks you so much. Thank you guys very much for your support, your encouragement, your words of encouragement as well when I post the images on social media. So anyway, for now, take care, and I'll see you next time.